Welcome to the round 11 2026 episode of Lachie Does Footy. We're going to be predicting the round 11 games, also taking a look back at round 10 and the ladder after round 10, and we're also looking at round 4 of the SANFL Inclusive League season to predict the... Let's start off round 4 with Salisbury versus Kilburn at Salisbury Oval. This is this is Salisbury's first home game of the season. Kilburn, they are currently the undefeated reigning premiers so far. For this game, I reckon Kilburn will probably likely get up by about 47 points. Goodwood Saints versus Athelstone at Goodies Oval. Even though I'd love to say Athelstone will win that one, but I've got a feeling I reckon Goodwood probably might get over the line this game by probably 1 point in a thriller. Kenilworth versus Christie's Beach at Kenilworth Oval. I reckon this will be a big win for Kenilworth. I'm going Kenilworth by 87 points. Last game of the round, Broadview versus Tea Tree Gully at Broadview Oval. For this game, I reckon Tea Tree Gully will probably get up by about, say, 26 points. Anyways, now we're going to the AFL. Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba. It was an awesome display out there from the Lions. About the Cats. It was close up until half time. Then Sean Mannay and company helped Geelong run away with the game. Sean Mannay with 30 and 5 that game for the Cats. Bailey Smith with 34, 11 tackles and 2 goals. Brisbane's best was Levi Ashcroft, 28 disposals, 2 tackles and a goal. Sydney and Collingwood at the SCG. 6-point win by Sydney. Total dominance by the Swans. At the end, Brodie Grundy with 54 disposals, 46 sit-outs and a goal. It's going to be even more harder for Will Green to make his Sydney debut. Probably next year, because Brodie Grundy's still in his prime. It takes a long time for ruckman to finally get game time. Nick Dacos is Collingwood's best with 28 disposals and 2 goals. In the win, and the loss. Gold Coast versus Port Adelaide at TIO Stadium in Darwin. Suns by 25 points. Mitch Georgiadis didn't do much that game for Port. He only kicked a goal, just one goal. He just didn't really handle the Darwin heat. John Noble played a great game for the Suns, while Zach Butters played great for the Power. Jed Walter kicked free, so did Dan Moyle. Joe Richards with 3 as well for the Power. Ewan McKinlay and Joe Berry with 2 goals for Port. Saturday footy. Adelaide ran away with the game after quarter time against North Melbourne to win by 68 points. First quarter looked like North Melbourne were going to win it, and then Adelaide would continue the streak against North. Peatling kicked 2 goals. Jordan Dawson with 24 and a goal. Isaac Rankin 28 and a goal. North's best player was Luke Parker with just 28 touches. Melbourne and Hawthorn at the MCG. Melbourne totally dominated that game, and I thought the run was going to come to an end. But no, the Demons, they just keep on winning at the cricket ground. Dylan Moore was best player in fantasy points, 27 disposals and 2 goals. Carl Amon with 20. Melbourne's best player was Tom Sparrow with 27 disposals and 2 points. Harrison Petty kicked 3 that game for Melbourne. Cozzy Pickett 2, Harry Sharp 2, Jacob Van Rooyen 2. Harvey Langford, Matthew Jefferson and Barney Fridge also kicked 2 for the D's. Nick Watson 3, Dylan Moore 2 and Mitch Lewis 2 for the Hawks. Saturday night. Carlton and Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. Well, Josh Fraser is the boss now at Carlton. The Blues have got their first win since round 1. Ollie Florent played a great game for Carlton with 28 disposals and 11 marks. Paddy Cripps with 29 and 2 and 5 tackles played exceptionally well for Carlton. The one who didn't do much that game was Bontempelli. He only had 24 and a goal and 92 points in fantasy. Aaron Norton 3, Matt Carroll 3, Riley West 2, and Harry 2 goals to also 2 to Harry Mackay. Sunday footy. Essendon and Fremantle at the MCG. The Dockers have finally won at the cricket ground against Essendon. That's their it's only like their 4th ever win against Essendon in Melbourne. First one came in 1998 at Waverley Park. In a neutral Sunday game. Archie Roberts played good that game for the Dogs with 30 disposals and 6 marks. Murphy Reid with 30 and a goal. Shea Bolton 24 and 2. Paddy Voss totally owned Essendon that game. 5 goals. What were Essendon thinking? Josh Tracy with 2 for the Dockers. Jai Amos also with 2 for Freo. Essendon's multiple goal kickers are Sullivan, Roby, Archie May and Nate Caddy. St Kilda versus Richmond at Marvel Stadium. Well, it's not just St Kilda who got their 5th win of the season. Euroke have got their 1st ever win. Congratulations, Euroke! You're on the board finally. Jack McRae with 31 disposals and a point in his return game. Jack Sinclair had played pretty good in the defence. Max Hall with 26 and 2. Hugo Garcia 25 and 2. Richmond, Liam Forster kicked 3 for the Tigers. Niall Roberts Thompson 2. Tom Lynch 2. The Saints, Cooper Sharman, Matthias Philippou, Max Hall, Hugo Garcia, Tom DeConing and Caminiti with 2 each. The injury crisis at Richmond is getting worse. If you're looking for a top-up player to play in the Dreamtime game against Essendon and Richmond, give Dean Polo a call. He's ready. He's ready to get the boots on and come out of retirement. And he was the big OG against Essendon 20 years ago. Or if not, maybe Dustin Martin. Maybe it might be time for Dusty to come out of retirement this game. West Coast versus GWS at Optus Stadium. The West Coast Eagles have won just their third game of the season. Well, it's better than our one-win season they had last year. Bailey Williams, 16 disposals, 41 headouts and 2 goals. Great performance from him. Harley Reid, 34 disposals, 2 goals, 8 tackles, 10 clearances. Clayton Oliver was GWS's best with 38 disposals, 12 clearances and a point. Other goal kickers, Jake Waterman 3, Harley Reid 2, Milan Murdoch 2, Jack Hutchinson 2. Well, Murdoch did once give away a 100-metre penalty, which caused GWS to kick a goal. For the Giants, Stringer 2, Gruski 2, and Brett Daniels 2. Now we move on to round 11. Hawthorn and Adelaide at UTAS Stadium. For this one, I'm probably going an upset. I reckon the Crows by a point. Richmond and Essendon at the Dreamtime game at the MCG. I reckon Essendon might get up by about 21 points. Richmond need at least 5 top-up players. Bring Dusty back. He's ready to go. Not just Dusty. Bring back Dylan Grimes as well. Yeah, does anyone have Kane Lambert's details for this game? Ask him to come out and help his old side out. How about Shane Edwards? Trent Cotton? Rewalt? Anyways, back to the other games. Freo and St Kilda at Optus Stadium. I'm going to Dockers by 60 points. North versus Gold Coast at Marvel. I reckon Gold Coast might finally beat North Melbourne in Melbourne for the first time since 2014. Going to Suns by 37 points. Geelong and Sydney at the Cannery. I reckon the Cats might get up in a close one by about 2 points. Collingwood and West Coast at the MCG. 400 and...
ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 433 for Scott Pendlebury. Remember when he was a good fine young lad making his debut in the year of 2006? He played against some of the best in the comp in our time, like Robert Harvey and Michael Voss, James Hurd. How about Marcus Shooter? How good was 2006? For this one, I reckon Collingwood will get up by 72 points in Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking game. As Collingwood are going to be the black, gold and white today against the West Coast Eagles to pay tribute to Pendlebury.
Anyways, enough posh talk. Port Adelaide versus Carlton at Adelaide Oval. Pendlebury's old teammate Josh Fraser coaching against the Power. He knows how to beat Port Adelaide in the past as a member of Collingwood. I'm going to Blues by 12 points. Now for the Sunday games, GWS and Brisbane at NG. I reckon the Lions will probably get up that game by 27. Bulldogs and Melbourne at Marvel. Demons by 3 points. And that's it for round 11. Now we'll be back soon for round number 12. And round 5 of the SANFL inclusive league season as well.